It's one of the first sounds that a baby will make, ma 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 or ba 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 ba, which is why in so many languages the proud parents take their babbling children to be speaking their names. Mama or amma is a very common word for mother, and papa or baba is similarly common as a word for father. In Aramaic, it's Abba, which a child will call their father from the very earliest age. Yet the name is not only reserved for childhood, the way that daddy might be reserved for childhood in English. No, the toddler who cries Abba will continue to call their father Abba long into adulthood. It's not only an intimate term, but one of respect. But here's the question for today. Who gets to call God Most High Abba? You know, if I called the Queen Liz, that would be a gross dishonor, but at least such familiarity makes no claim on the Queen. I have no right to call her Liz, but in doing so, I haven't established any claim to her throne or right to protection or provision. Liz is intimate, but it doesn't set me in a particular relationship to the Queen. But if I claim to be family, that's something else entirely. If the Queen were not simply Mom, but also Mum, that would put me in a very privileged position. As family, I am in on what she is in on. As family, I can inherit. So let's return to our question. Who gets to call God Most High Abba? Answer: the Son of God. And really, only Him, only Jesus can articulate that degree of intimacy. Only Jesus can make that kind of claim on the God of heaven. In the New Testament, we read 3 Abba Fathers. The first is in the Garden of Gethsemane, which we will really focus on tomorrow. There, in Matthew 26, Jesus prays in blood earnestness to His Father as He contemplates the cross. The obedient Son calls out to the Father with a title that only the obedient Son can: Abba Father. And yet that phrase is used twice more in the New Testament. The Apostle Paul in Galatians 4 verse 6 writes that God has sent the Spirit of His Son into our hearts, the Spirit who calls out, Abba Father. Here we see the Spirit sweeping up the believer into the perfect prayer life of the Son. The Spirit of Christ prays Christ's prayer in us and through us. We are drawn by the Spirit into the union and communion which the obedient Son enjoys with His Abba Father. The believer's new heartbeat is now Abba Father, Abba Father, Abba Father, because the Spirit is making that cry from deep within us. But not only does the Spirit pray Abba Father from within us, Romans chapter 8 verse 15 says, "You have received the Spirit of the Son, by whom we cry, Abba Father." You see, Abba Father is no longer just what the Son prays, and it's not just what the Spirit of the Son prays in us. The Spirit now teaches us to pray Abba Father for ourselves. First, Abba Father is the prayer of Christ. Then it's the prayer of the Spirit of Christ in us. But as we go on in the Christian life, it becomes our own Spirit-led prayer. We join in on the eternal prayer life of God. We add our own glad amen to the prayers of the Son and the Spirit. As we do, we experience something incredible. In the words of 2 Peter chapter 1, we participate in the divine nature. We take part in this loving back and forth that constitutes the very life of God. Filled with the Spirit, adopted by the Father, and able to call Him Abba, we are one with Christ, and now we can call the Father what He calls the Father: Abba. As Mike Reeves has said, to be the son of a millionaire would be nice. To be the firstborn of some wealthy king, that would be wonderful enough, but we are the beloved children of the Emperor of the universe. So today, make sure you take advantage of this incredible privilege. In the name of the Son and in the joy of the Spirit, pray to God Most High and call Him Abba Father.